Hey there, it's Boots Owen here. I've got a Dyson vacuum here, Dyson DC24 Vacuum. The noise in the background is a couple of washing machines that are on the go, so you'll just have to suffer that. There's a filter in here, I can clean that first, so let's take that off. Let's see if that gets us in here. Yep, that lifts that up. There's a tab. That filter's got a bit of hair on it, yuck. There's a bit of hair on there, get rid of that. You're just meant to run these under the tap and let them dry for a day in the sun or under a bit of heat. There's torque screws all around here. I can see that there's stuff on the inside of that, so let's see if I can... There's a button. If I press this, it activates this red thing, and that lets the bottom drop off. There's a load of hair in there. Probably get that out. That's got some of it, but not all of it. So, yeah, it looks like it's caked in dust again, or in this cyclone thing. Not the cyclone, but the filter in there. That actually is not so bad. That clips off there. So we can get into that. That can be washed. I can give that a wash under this tap. Wow, that's quite caked in... Oh, it just lifts off though. Quite caked in some kind of something probably that went in a bit damp. There's a rubber seal on there. So let's take off those torque screws up on top and see what's in here. Keep them safe. There's 5. It sounds a bit crunchy when I start to take them off, and I'm not sure what that is. I suspect that this machine was left out in somewhere damp because of the noise it's making. Oh, that's pretty easy. There's a spring there. Need to keep an eye on that. Remember to put it back. There's a filter, not a filter, a rubber gasket there. I'll just leave that where it is. I might take that gasket off for cleaning. So it doesn't matter. That's pretty clean, but I'll give it a wash as well. There's a bit of rust in there on the bottom of that spring, but it's acting fine. Okay, then this one. We took the screws off. The screws let the top come off the bottom. Those cones, there's no residue. Well, there's a bit of... No, there's not. There's a bit of something on them. You can see the light coming through at the bottom there through the holes. This could be bonded here. The screws only went that far. Can't see any other screws in there. Don't see any screws up above. So I think it's probably sufficient just to try and clean it from the outside. We'll try that. That might be enough. Okay, so I've snapped it off the whole way around, and then it just lifts off, and there's loads of crud in there, loads of it. So we'll give that a good clean. That water's clean now. It's much better. So, looks like everything's washed, everything's dried. So, there's the bottom, there's the top. There's a rubber ring, I think that went in here. But I don't really remember. So, oh, there's a bit of a step there, so that goes here then. It's a little step in the rubber. It sits in that little groove there. Then I think I took this piece off next. It should only line up one way, and since there's this thing here, it's got to go that way. Oh, it's quite strange how it does it. Right. Gotta kind of wiggle it on, I guess. Am I right or am I wrong? I don't know. Keep going. Some of them are lined up and some of them aren't. It's kind of weird. But if you hit it, it seems to line up. Okay. So I think let's pop it in the vise. See if that does it. Or it just crushes it. Putting a lot of force on it by putting it in that vise, but that's gotten it over the edge there. Okay. Then just snap it home the whole way around. It had this thing. Don't remember where it went. Guessing it went here. Like that. And then let's say that went in like this. I'm really making this up. What's wrong? Can I get up? So pay attention. So we put the spring in. It's got a little pointy bit on each end. I put that in. Then we've got to wind it around and clip it in like that. So the little steel bit is going to hold the spring out. Then very carefully slide it down. It pops out at the bottom for some reason. So yeah. So you kind of need to do it like that and scoop it around. And then pop it in. That seems to do it. Then get the top on while you're holding all this together. I need that one, thank you.
Oh, mine does.
No, it's my one.
My one. My one. My one. My one.
Baba Bear. What's that?
Nina.
That's Nina, I can hear it.
I hear it.
I hear it.
I hear it.
Okay, so 4 screws.
I hear it.
5 screws.
There's 5 screws.
5 screws.
There's screws. There's screws this
That one
one.
feels like it's wrung off.
Screws.
Put that back on. Look there, that's got a bit of spring in it now, see? So push that and it opens. Click. Okay, we're winning. The screws hold the two gold pieces together and this grey piece just snaps on. Then there's a filter to go in here, which I've cleaned overnight. Cleaned and then dried overnight. And you saw I washed it very carefully. So I washed it and I washed it and I washed it, and eventually the water that was in there came out clean. It's been washed before, I'd say, because there's an image of a tap on it there, but you can't really see that, it's washed away. That also forms a gasket. That rubber's gone a bit tacky, which is a bit weird, but you know, it is what it is, a used machine. That snaps shut. Then this nozzle here, I don't know if it has a particular direction. It's got 4 tabs, and as far as, there doesn't seem to be any identifying tab or anything like that. So which one was it? There's one tab with no damage to it, and I guess that's the one that goes in the slot with no damage. So I just put it in, try and hook one in, try and hook in a second. This is quite interesting now, so how I'm meant to get this on. You can see the tab there. What? So just wiggling it side to side, and I can hear a snap there. Got 2 in. 3, 4. Okay, so it's just brute force for that. You got a rubber gasket seal on there. That's a root cyclone DC24 canister. That's what I might call that. That's actually not a bad vacuum. The stuff that I was cleaning up was really fine dust mixed with some quite big dust. The carpet itself wasn't clean before, so I'm not too worried about that. But it leaves a nice finish on it, you know, with that brushed finish. I think I might keep this one and use it for myself. Thanks for watching. See you later.